Hello YouTubers, in this video I want to show you my front mounted ATV electric 12 volt spreader mounted on a tractor, as you can see obviously. Version 2.0. You'll see I have another video showing the first implementation, basically using the parts that it came with. This is supposed to be hitch mounted in the back of an ATV. As I mentioned in the previous video, what I wanted to do is have one that is front mounted so that I can better see what I'm doing, where I'm placing the material, and I really haven't been able to find a spreader that that seems to be doing a good job. And obviously the push spreaders are just too much work, and I end up never doing it. And the pull behind, again, I didn't think that those were going to be accurate enough in terms of where the material ends up going. Also, you need to be going in order for that to spread, and there's a lot of loss. And this one instead, when I first had it with the first attachment, I would just leave the motor on running, and then I would just control the material by actuating the lever to open and close the shutter. I could, stop somewhere and let it go, open the shutter just a little bit, release some material, close it, back up, reposition myself again. So it's just much more accurate this way. So the first implementation, however, was kind of not working very well. It was bouncy. The hopper was too high off the front of the tractor, and I couldn't see inside. And it just wasn't, and then it needed wrenches in order to attach it underneath the tractor in the front. So what I decided to do is basically use a mount which is this bar right here. It goes down here and it mounts essentially on the same attachment points as my snowblower, as well as other attachments. In fact, with this one I can use the front detacher, which attaches here, and it's a Craftsman front detacher. And I can also use a front plow and then with the cylinder, with a linear actuator rather, mounted in this hole right here with a cotter pin. I can have a linear actuator that comes down and allows me to lift the detacher as well as my plow. Then of course this whole thing comes off very easily, and I can attach snowblower and whatever else. As you've seen from previous videos, I have my linear actuator controls here. Originally I made that in order to be able to control 3 linear actuators at the same time. Again, watch my previous videos. Originally made for my snowblower, but it seems to be having 3 attachment points for power and reverse direction capabilities. I can do a lot of stuff with this. So again, I've been using it for a front linear actuator for my plow, as well as my front mounted bucket, which I built last year, and again, go watch that video for that. I also have a cable that comes out back here, and I can actuate my I have a mounting bracket for the back as well, that I can use for a rear plow to level ground and stuff. So back to the spreader here. The problem I was having, besides the way it was mounted originally, is that the gate wasn't working. In fact, this is feedback that I've seen on Amazon on this particular spreader. The model name and number is listed below in the information on the video. The gate, after a while, just stopped working. It wouldn't close anymore. It would open, but it wouldn't close anymore. So it just needed a whole different way of working. Motor seems to be doing a good job. I tried originally to make just a different bracket that mounts on the shaft inside here to stir the material a little bit better, but it turns out that it was too much, and it was stopping the motor from turning. So this little clip that it came with seems to be doing a decent job. It basically goes through pretty much all the material. Obviously the lawn isn't perfect, so any bounce that the tractor has, any vibration, allows it to kind of flow where it needs to go into the gate. So again, for the attachment, I ended up using basically my universal front attachment mount, which is this piece right here. And then I built a little clip that basically bolts over here, original hole, and it basically goes 90 degree, and it catches on this this bar right here. And then I made these brackets that bolt on over here. So I have these quick detach wing nuts, and with the carriage bolt on both sides, and so it's easy enough to take this on and off. Then I concentrated on the gate. So in order to make that work the way it should have worked from the beginning, I actually used a lever that uses two cables, so that way I can pull and push, you know, when I want it to go in either direction. And this actually came off of my snowblower. So again, if you go watch my other videos, you'll see that on my snowblower I mounted a linear actuator that allows me to control the angle of the chute. And so this is the original lever that came with the snowblower. So again, I mounted it over there on the base of the tractor there on the frame, and it's got the two cables that come along and they go under there. And I basically, if I can give you a shot of that. Basically, there you go. So there is the little wheel here that has the two cables. One pulls when it goes in one direction, and the other one pulls when I want to go in the other direction. And basically, there's a screw. There is a hole at the end here. I just mounted a screw to it, and then a little eye loop, and then literally with a nail going through the same hole that the gate had originally. I bent the nail, and so it comes here and meets on this point, and then it joins with this little eye loop here. And so this allows me to open and close the gate very nice. Truthfully, I haven't tried it yet with loaded up with material, but as you can see, the gate works now, and it's a lot smoother. And that is because this lever system has a lot more. I can pull and push a lot more force through it. As far as power, originally this came with a cable that attached to the battery directly, and then had its own switch with a fuse in the middle. Again, because I have my linear actuator switches, I do already have a cable that comes out from the front over here, so I just basically spliced it, made my little, let me show you my connector system here that I use. So I have these you know, 3 of these throughout the tractor, and this allows me to basically connect any linear actuator that I want at any time. Cotter pins, and so here's the cable that has a fuse right there, and it goes to my motor. So I can basically, here's my circuit that it's connected to, and you can see there that it's spinning, and I can actually, because I have this on the same system, I can actually switch direction to it. I don't think I'll need that, but I figured why bother using the old switch when I just could use the electrical setup that I already had here. So here is my front mounted electric spreader version 2.0 mounted on my Craftsman DGT 6000 tractor, and hopefully this works. Also, by the way, one advantage of this is that it's mounted lower than the previous implementation, and before I had it was fanning out quite a bit. So now, with this one, I think I'll be able to control the material direction and where I place it a little better. So hopefully you like this, and have fun.